Yeah, no, a fresh would be. It would be a more, I think, a more rewarding way of playing as well. You know, even doing that 1 to 60 again, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass, but ultimately, I just think it's going to be a better experience, a better economy.
Yeah, but all they'd have to do is just give like a two-week grace period on a fresh server to level up.
Yeah.
Right? And then release TBC. That's how you fix that. Like, there's no rush. You got 2 weeks to get to 60. Your Psycho Pass can go hit 60, gear up, and run Nax 40 for 1 week. Like, yeah. I don't care. They're not going to have 30, 40,000 gold. That's not, I mean, maybe one of them. Who knows? I don't know. Like, but they're not going to have that much gold that's going to affect the entire economy. Your average Joes are still going to be leveling by the end of that 2 weeks.
Even that, it makes sense. But even I still personally would just prefer just to the server opens. It's got TBC on there already, and we all just start at 1. Yeah, I think that would be such a cool. It would be an amazing experience, a better experience than how it's gonna be on a progressive server. I think.
You're gonna. I mean, I hope we get both. I would be just so shocked if we didn't. I'd cry, but I'd still play. Like, that's why people ask me, like, why aren't you leveling up Paladin? I'll just, cause I'm not. I'm gonna be hopeful. I'm gonna be optimistic.
And if it does come out, you're just or once we find out how the launch is going to be, you'll just start from 1 as a Paladin.
Yeah, I mean I'm also a private server player, right? Like, I play fresh. I go from fresh to fresh. It doesn't bother me losing my progression. I think I would treat them like Diablo seasons. I guess I play Diablo, so I'm personally, even if I were to grind high Warlord, I could put that character in the shelf and never go back to it if that's what it meant. I have no problem doing that. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but it's just one of those things. Like, I'm there for the experience, man. I don't get attached to my time spent on a character.
So it's funny because I was that guy who was attached to his character. All the achievements I've got on retail, all the mounts I've got, all of that, I was attached. But since playing private servers, I have actually lost that. I'm not bothered. I went from Endless and then was like, Karazhan came out. I was like, right, fuck Endless, I'm off to Karazhan. Yeah. I wasn't bothered. The characters didn't mean anything.
I've got a RAS server coming up here in 2 weeks, and I'm super excited. I like the fresh gearing.
White main.
Yeah, I love getting excited about blues. Like, you'll be probably half in the bag tonight, half drunk. You're gonna get one of your righteous pieces. You're gonna feel that excitement.
I can already feel it.
It's so good. Like, that versus like being bummed about losing my progress character. Like, oh well, I like it. Maybe I'm weird.
No, you're really not, because it's the same as even when you when you start an ult on Classic, if you re-roll to a different server or something like that, because that's actually what I done. I went on a completely different server, left my main behind. How excited I was when I got my first green. It's like, oh yeah.
I played Shadowlands a little bit. I got a 184 piece out of a Mythic 0, and I'm like, yes. It was it doesn't matter what expansion I'm playing. I like that initial gear up.
Yeah, I do. I do. I really like the sort of pre-bis is the best gearing experience for me. Yeah, personally.
Yeah. Things aren't easy, right? Like, you're not just plowing through a heroic. They're longer fights. You're blowing cooldowns just to survive.
I'm gonna petition to Blizzard to get you fresh servers.
All right, if I get to be at Blizzard and they go, all right, Kael, what do you want? I want Alliance to have dual spec. I do. I legitimately think that would be enough by itself.
You want Alliance? Yep. Why? What? So why? Just to balance the factions.
Balance it 100%. Give Alliance dual spec. Nothing more. Don't change anything else.
I mean, but I would definitely go the faction that's got dual spec.
Yeah, that's fine. And yet your diehard players are still going to go Horde.
Yeah.
Because it's better.
Yeah, obviously, I've made plenty of content about, what changes there should be, and yeah, dual spec is one of them. I would give dual spec to both factions, and then try and balance it another way.
But that's what every private server runs into. They give everyone dual spec. White main is doing racial shifting, I think. Like, so if you're a human, you could have orc racial, which is an interesting take on it.
Who's doing that?
White main is.
Oh right, I mean that is quite interesting.
I think dual spec alone would be just enough to keep enough people alliance. Maybe it makes people go alliance, just because they can save themselves 300 gold a week.
Yeah.
But it's not even about the gold though. It's about raid comp, right? You could just, all right, we don't need a prot paladin, go ret or go holy. You know, I don't. You'd have to like slow it down. They couldn't just like hit a button and then they're a different spec. On private servers, you have to log out, go to their website, hit something, then log back in. Something slower. Or go to a trainer, right? You got to slow it down, otherwise speed runs would get out of hand.
Yeah, I think going to a trainer makes sense. So basically, rather than dual spec, maybe just free respec.
Sure. Dual spec's nice, so you just don't have to set your talents or your bars or anything like that each time. But honestly, I wouldn't care either way.
But what's your views?
I want it to be like in an ideal world 60-40, right? 60 horde, 40 alliance. It's not gonna be that though, man. It's gonna be like it's gonna mark my words, it's gonna be 80-20 or crazier. Honestly, it will.
So how do you think, if the servers are progressive, how do you think they should handle Blood Elves and Draenei's? Do you think they should just come out when the portal opens, or should they get a bit of a head start, or what do you think?
There should be a grace period, 1 or 2 weeks. All right, go level up a Blood Elf Paladin before, you know, they'll open it up, and they'll you know, you could hit 60 on your Blood Elf Paladin, and then boom, then you're in Hellfire Peninsula. If they just open the door, like every world first is going to be horde with Bloodlust, straight up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been saying recently. Is that just complete unfair? Because you can, let's face it, you can live without a paladin. As good as their AoE tanking is, as good as, you know, tank healing they are as holy. Yeah, you can put all that aside though, and just stacking more shamans is still.
Of course, there's nothing pressing, because they're gonna gate tiers too. I know they are. T5's not gonna be out on launch as much as we want it to be. You don't need paladins for Gruul's Lair. You definitely don't need them for Meg's Theradon. Maybe for a tank, but even then, Kings would be nice, but it's not mandatory.
And again, you're so used to content that's like tuned up that in Classic it's probably not going to matter as much, I don't think. Especially, I think it will start to matter more. I reckon it will go the same sort of path that Classic has. All the tiers were a joke until Nax, where he was in the final patch of everything, which was, you know, it's still not overly difficult, but, you know, more difficult than anything else. And I think TBC might end up the same, where Sunwell Plateau is the real cock block and everything else is fairly reasonable.
Yeah, the only two gates I see is guilds having enough hearts for Mother. Like, if they release Hyjal and Black Temple at the same time, like they did in Classic or TBC retail, that would be the only issue I see. Where maybe farming trash for the first day and Hyjal to get enough hearts. I think the world first guild for Illidan, they killed Rage Winterchill and then they went straight to Black Temple. They didn't even kill Archimonde.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. I'm 88% sure on that.
Well, there was one, I can't remember the exact specifics of it, and I can't even remember where I saw it now, if I'm honest with you. But weren't there like a Chinese guild on the Chinese servers? Didn't it, like, Black Temple got released on day one because the game was so delayed or something like that, and a guild cleared like all content in, I don't know, like 20 days or something ridiculous. Like absolutely everything.
I mean, that's exactly what would happen if it'd be way faster than 20 days nowadays, but
oh yeah, without a doubt.
You just have people buying green gear with shadow resist on it, you know, to get through that fight, or green gear with nature frost resist for T5. Yeah, we just, I mean, I think no changes hurt, you know, WoW Classic. I really do. I think there should be some changes. Of course, spell batching going away would be awesome, but I don't know if their servers could handle it.
Yeah, Hillweed and TSW are saying the same thing. Yeah, China got TBC late, and an Illidan screenshot with loads of people still in tier 3. That's how quick they were smashing through it all.
It's the one, I think Kungan was tanking Tidewalker with Thunder Fury. Like, when I was watching some of those old videos.
Yeah, a lot of them was using it. Yeah, Thunder Fury for ages. But then it got nerfed, didn't it?
Yeah, Thunder Fury in its lifetime was nerfed so many times, like 3 or 4 times, which is just ridiculous for a weapon.
The big hardcore private vanilla private server players are the ones who dominated in Classic, and it will be the same way why all the TBC private servers will probably dominate in Classic TBC.